All right, so today let's dive into some really cool tech that's like tackling climate change.
Oh, yeah.
Head on.
Yeah.
We've got this fascinating article from CNN about a new greenhouse technology
Interesting.
called SecondSky. And trust me, you'll want to hear this.
Okay.
Especially if you're into sustainable agriculture or just curious about how innovation is helping us grow food,
Yeah.
in a warming world.
What I find interesting is that this technology, it's not coming from, Silicon Valley.
Right.
Or some big agricultural corporation. It's emerging from the deserts of Saudi Arabia. It really shows that solutions can come from the most unexpected places.
Right.
Especially, from those facing some of the harshest environmental challenges.
Yeah, it's almost poetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of challenges, we can't ignore the fact that this past summer was the hottest on record globally,
Yeah, it was brutal.
according to the Copernicus Climate Change Service.
Right.
And it's putting a lot of pressure on agriculture worldwide. Soaring temperatures mean stressed crops.
Yeah.
Increased reliance on water and energy-intensive cooling systems just to maintain current yields.
And that's precisely where SecondSky comes in.
Okay.
It's this specially designed plastic film
Okay.
infused with nanotechnology that's used to cover greenhouses.
Okay.
Essentially, it acts as a selective filter, blocking out infrared radiation,
Oh,
the
cool.
heat,
Gotcha.
while still allowing the light plants need for photosynthesis to pass through.
So it's like giving the plants shade, but in a super high-tech way?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, what kind of impact does that have on the overall environment inside the greenhouse?
The impact is significant. We're talking about a temperature reduction of up to 7 degrees Celsius.
Oh.
That translates to 30% less water usage and less need for those energy-guzzling cooling systems.
Wow, 7 degrees.
Yeah.
That's huge. What kind of economic impact could that have for farmers?
Right.
And could this potentially lead to lower food prices or increased profits for them?
Those are excellent questions.
Yeah.
A 30% reduction in water usage alone
Right.
would significantly lower operating costs for farmers. It could also lead to higher yields
Okay.
and potentially, yes, even lower food prices
Gotcha.
as production becomes more efficient.
Okay, so it's better for the environment and potentially better for our wallets too.
It seems that way.
Sign me up. The article mentioned that this nanotechnology is integrated into the standard greenhouse coverings.
Right.
That polyfilm material.
Yeah,
So it seems pretty easy to adopt.
exactly.
Farmers wouldn't have to overhaul their entire setup.
Seamless integration is a crucial factor when it comes to getting new technology adopted.
For sure.
And there's another advantage.
Okay.
Unlike some other heat-blocking methods like applying white chalk to the plastic,
Right.
SecondSky doesn't reduce the lifespan of the material.
So it's a win-win for both the environment and the farmer's bottom line.
Yeah, you could say that.
That's smart design. But what about the bigger picture? Where is this technology being used? And is it just for those super hot, dry places we imagine when we think of greenhouses?
Well, it started in Saudi Arabia,
Okay.
but SecondSky is already being utilized in 15 countries around the world.
Oh, wow.
And you're right, it's not just limited to desert regions.
Okay.
We're seeing it adopted in places like the US and Europe as well,
Interesting.
especially with climates becoming more unpredictable.
Right.
Jean Kepler, the executive chairperson of IRIS,
Mm-hmm.
the company behind SecondSky,
Right.
really hit the nail on the head when he said this isn't just about future-proofing.
Yeah.
It's about dealing with the realities of climate change right now.
Totally.
He even called it writing an insurance policy.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So it's not just some futuristic concept.
Right.
It's a practical solution for today's problems.
Exactly.
Speaking of practical solutions, the article dives into a pilot project in Bada, Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Could you tell us more about that?
This project is a great example of how SecondSky can be implemented on a larger scale.
Okay.
Bada is in a subtropical desert region where average summer temperatures are just below 40 degrees Celsius.
So a pretty extreme environment.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. And despite those conditions, they're successful's growing produce there,
Wow.
using a combination of homegrown agri-tech solutions, including SecondSky. It's fascinating to see this kind of innovation
Right.
coming from a region often associated with oil production, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like they're turning the desert into a garden.
Yeah.
The article mentioned that the produce from this project is being used to supply those luxury Red Sea global resorts.
Right.
It really highlights the potential for sustainable agriculture to not only feed the world,
Yeah.
but also contribute to local economies in kind of unexpected ways.
That's a great point, and it ties into a much larger global issue.
Okay.
That was a hot topic
Yeah.
at the recent UN convention to combat desertification,
Yeah.
land degradation. Did you know that we're losing a staggering 100 million hectares of healthy land every year to desertification?
100 million hectares. That's difficult to even visualize.
Yeah.
What does that look like in terms of, say, something we're all familiar with?
Imagine this. Every single second, an area the size of 4 soccer fields is lost to desertification.
Wow.
It's a silent crisis that's affecting millions of people worldwide.
That really puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
So how does a technology like SecondSky fit into this fight against desertification?
Right.
Could it play a role in reversing this trend?
It certainly has the potential.
Okay.
By enabling farmers to grow food in areas previously considered unproductive,
Right.
SecondSky could help reduce the pressure on existing farmland
Okay.
and potentially even contribute to replanting some of that degraded land.
Gotcha.
Of course, it's not a silver bullet solution,
Right.
but it's a powerful tool in the toolkit.
Yeah.
The article goes on to quote Vincent Martin, director of the Office of Innovation at the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization,
Okay.
who highlights the vital role of greenhouses in this fight.
Mm.
He points out that greenhouses can yield up to 5 times the land productivity
Okay.
and 7 times the water productivity compared to traditional open field cultivation.
It's like creating little pockets of agricultural resilience
Yeah.
in the face of a changing climate. And
Yeah.
SecondSky is making those pockets even more efficient and resilient.
Right. Precisely by reducing the environmental stressors within the greenhouse, the extreme heat and water scarcity.
Right?
SecondSky is contributing to those impressive productivity figures Martin mentioned.
Okay.
And it's not just about growing more food.
Yeah.
It's about growing it in a smarter, more sustainable way,
Right.
minimizing our impact on the surrounding environment.
Yeah. You know, speaking of impact, something's been on my mind throughout our discussion about SecondSky.
Okay.
We've been focused on agriculture.
But this heat-blocking nanotechnology, it seems like it could have applications far beyond just greenhouses, don't you think?
You're reading my mind. I was just thinking the same thing.
Okay.
If it can keep a greenhouse in the Saudi Arabian desert, cool. Imagine what it could do for buildings and homes here.
Right.
Especially with those increasingly intense heat waves we've been experiencing.
Exactly. Iris is actually planning to expand SecondSky into a wider range of products in 2025, while the details are still under wraps.
Right.
It's fascinating to consider the possibilities.
Yeah.
Imagine skyscrapers coated in this invisible shield reflecting away the heat,
Oh, wow.
or even individual homes equipped with it.
It could revolutionize urban planning
Right.
and have a significant impact on energy consumption.
Definitely.
We could potentially reduce our reliance on air conditioning,
Yeah,
which would be a huge win for the environment.
absolutely. And let's not forget the positive impact on public health.
Oh, right.
Extreme heat is a serious threat. And if we can cool our cities using this technology,
Right.
we can create healthier, more resilient communities. Imagine city parks that stay cool and comfortable, even on the hottest days.
It's amazing to think about the ripple effect this technology could have.
Yeah.
But like with any new innovation, there will always be challenges, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm thinking about scaling up production, ensuring equitable access,
Right.
and of course, considering any potential unintended consequences.
Those are all important factors.
I mean, it's great if it works for large-scale farming operations and luxury resorts,
Yeah.
but what about smallholder farmers? Could they benefit from this technology too?
You've hit on some critical points.
Yeah.
Vincent Martin actually addressed this in the article.
Okay.
He said, even with the best technology, if it's not affordable or accessible to smallholder farmers,
Right.
who make up a significant portion of the world's food producers,
Yeah.
its impact will be limited.
Right.
So distribution affordability and education are going to be key factors in determining the ultimate success of SecondSky.
And what about those potential unintended consequences? Every time we introduce a new technology,
Sure.
especially on a large scale, there's always the risk of unforeseen downsides, right?
Yeah, that's always a concern.
Like, what about the environmental impact of producing this nanotech film.
Right.
Is there a risk of it ending up in landfills, creating a whole new problem?
Those are valid concerns.
Yeah.
It's essential to consider the entire life cycle of any new technology, from production to disposal.
Right.
We need to make sure that the manufacturing process is as sustainable as possible,
Okay.
and that there are responsible recycling or disposal methods in place
Right.
to minimize any negative environmental impact.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about implementing it responsibly and thoughtfully,
Exactly.
ensuring that it truly benefits everyone
Yeah.
and doesn't create new problems down the line.
It's about finding that balance
Right.
between embracing innovation and being mindful of its potential impact.
Okay.
We need to have these conversations early on
Yeah.
and involve a diverse range of voices to ensure that new technologies are developed and implemented
Right.
in a way that benefits all of humanity and the planet.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here today.
Yeah, we have.
We've gone from the science behind this incredible nanotech to its potential applications beyond agriculture, and even touched upon some broader societal and environmental considerations.
Yeah, it's been a great discussion.
I feel like I've learned so much. It's exciting to see this kind of ingenuity emerging,
Right.
especially when it comes to addressing such pressing challenges like climate change and food security.
It's a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable problems,
Yeah.
human innovation and a willingness to think outside the box can offer us a glimpse of a more sustainable future.
So what does all this mean for you, dear listener?
Right.
What can we take away from this deep dive into Second Sky?
I think the key takeaway is that we all have a role to play in shaping the future we want to see. We need to stay informed, engage in these conversations, and ask those tough questions.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to challenge the status quo.
Right.
And be open to unconventional solutions,
Right.
even if they come from unexpected places.
Or like a heat-blocking nanotech film developed in the deserts of Saudi Arabia? Who would have thought?
It's a powerful reminder that innovation can come from anywhere, and that even small changes, like adopting a new technology in a greenhouse,
Right.
can have a ripple effect that extends far beyond its initial application.
It's a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Second Sky,
Right?
I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
Inspired by the article, but goes a step further.
Okay.
Iris is planning to expand Second Sky into a wider range of products in 2025.
Right.
They're remaining tight-lipped about the specifics,
Yeah.
but have hinted at applications beyond agriculture. What other uses can you envision for this heat-blocking nanotechnology?
It's a question worth pondering. Could we see it integrated into clothing,
Oh.
creating a personal cooling system for those scorching days?
Ooh, I love that idea.
Yeah.
Like a built-in sunshade,
Right.
but way more stylish.
Or perhaps we could apply it to vehicles, reducing the need for air conditioning
Okay.
and improving fuel efficiency.
Imagine a world where cars don't turn into ovens when you park them in the sun.
Right.
That would be a game changer, especially as more and more cities are experiencing those extreme heat waves.
Yeah, for sure.
Or what about using it in refugee camps or disaster relief shelters
Oh, yeah.
to provide some relief from the elements?
That's a great idea.
The potential applications really do seem endless.
It is exciting to think about, isn't it? And that's the beauty of innovation. It sparks our imaginations and pushes us to think beyond the obvious.
Right.
What we're seeing with Second Sky is just the beginning. As Iris continues to develop and refine this technology,
Right.
and as more innovators around the world start exploring similar solutions, I have no doubt we'll see even more creative applications emerge in the coming years.
It feels like we're on the cusp of a major shift, not just in how we grow food, but how we adapt to a changing world.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a reminder that even in the face of daunting challenges like climate change,
Right.
human ingenuity and innovation can offer a glimmer of hope and a path toward a more sustainable future.
It really does. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Second Sky today,
Okay.
I want to leave you with this thought. We've talked about the science, the potential, and the challenges.
Right.
But ultimately, the future of this technology and the impact it has on the world depends on all of us. It depends on us asking the right questions, demanding responsible innovation,
Yeah.
and working together to create a future where technology serves humanity and the planet.
What a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining me on this fascinating journey into the world of Second Sky.
It's my pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those brains buzzing.